Hello everyone. Today we see continued part of prose, a hero. In this video, I give complete information about the story. First of all, we see glossary words and their meanings. First one, snore means to breathe in a noisy way. Second one, apparition means ghost. Sternly, seriously and strictly. Laughing stock, an object of ridicule. Slunk, moved somewhere quietly and secretly. Chum, a good friend. Nightmare, a frightening dream. Notorious, evil-minded. Scout, one who trained in doing acts of public service. Let's see continued part of a story. In the previous video, we have discussed that Swami was not ready to sleep alone in the office room because he had always slept beside his granny in the passage, and any change in this arrangement kept him trembling and awake all night. Granny was telling stories to her grandson Swami and taking care of him. This was the everyday practice of Granny before she went to bed. But after this incident, Swami was not ready to hear a story because his father ordered him to sleep alone in his office room and prove his courage. Then father went to his room and asked him to get ready to sleep alone in his office room. But Swami hesitated for a moment and finally followed his father. At that time, he made desperate attempts to escape from his father. He pleaded and said that the office room was dusty and there may be scorpions behind law books. But father wasn't ready to listen his arguments, and finally Swami agreed to sleep alone in the office room. Swami felt cut off from humanity in the room. As the night advanced, he remembered all the devil and ghost stories. His friend Mani had seen the devil in the banyan tree, and Muniswami's father spat out blood because devil near the river's edge slapped his cheek while he was returning home late one night. These thoughts linked like a chain. Swami thought that something terrible would happen to him and that the ghost may come and carry him away. All these thoughts made him faint. There was absolute silence in the room. In spite of it, some noises reached Swami's ears. The ticking of the clock, rustle of trees, snoring sounds, and the night insects humming. As the night advanced, Swami recalled another instance of his old friend in the 4th class who suddenly disappeared and was said to have been carried off by a ghost to Siam or Nepal. By these instances, Swami hurriedly got up and spread his bed under the bench and crouched there because he thought that crouching under the bench was safe, compact, and reassuring. He shut his eyes tight and covered himself in his blanket. When he was asleep, he was disturbed by nightmares. In his dream, a tiger was chasing him, and he could hear the loud thud and scratching sound. Swami tried to open his eyes, but it would not open. The nightmare continued, and finally, Swami groaned in despair. With desperate attempts, Swami put his hand out to feel his granny's presence, but he only touched the wooden leg of the bench. By this, he sweated with fright. At that time, something was moving down into the room. As it came nearer, he crawled out from the bench, hugged it with all his might, and used his teeth like a mortal weapon. Ayyo, something has bitten me, the burglar cried and fell down between furniture. By hearing this, father, cook, and a servant came into the room. By this incident, Swami became a hero overnight. So, congratulations were showered on Swami next day. His classmates looked at him with respect, and his teachers patted his back. The headmaster said that he was a true scout, and the police were grateful to him. Congratulations were showered on Swami because he had bitten into the flesh of one of the most notorious housebreakers of the district. The inspector asked him to join the police department when he was grown up, but Swami had made up his mind to be an engine driver, a railway guard, or a bus conductor later in life. When father returned home from the club that night, he asked his wife about Swami. Swami, as usual, had slept beside his granny. Father thought that Swami slept before he could return home so as to avoid him. So he said that he was very clever. For that, mother lost her temper and supported Swami and said that he can sleep wherever he likes, that there is no need to take such a risk to the boy's life again. Father mumbled that if Swami was spoiled, there is to be no blame on him. By hearing this conversation, Swami felt relieved at the end of the story. Now we see related questions and answers. First question: what do you think was the practice of Granny before she went to bed? For answer, please refer my notes. Second one: was Swami really sleeping or was he pretending? Actually, Swami was not really sleeping. He was only pretending. Pretending means acting. Third one, to Swami, his father looked like an dash. Answer, apparition. Fourth one, why do you think Swami looked at his granny and his mother while following his father to the route? Because Swami thought his granny or his mother would help him and save him from his father. Fifth one, there might be scorpions before your law books, said Swami. First question, had he seen them earlier or were there scorpions really? Actually, he hadn't seen them earlier and there were really no scorpions. Second one, was it a trick to escape from his father? Definitely, surely, it was a trick to escape from his father. Sixth one, Swami wished that the tiger hadn't spared the boy, which means Swami didn't want the boy to be alive. Seventh one, as silence deepened in the room, what was Swami reminded of? Whenever silence deepened in the room, Swami was reminded of all the stories of devils and ghosts he had heard in his life. Question number 8. Which place in the room did Swami think was safe, compact, and reassuring? Swami thought under the bench was safe, compact, and reassuring. Ninth one, Swami touched dash in the room instead of granny. Answer for this, the wooden leg of the bench. Question number 10. Swami saw a moving creature in the room. It was dash. Answer for this, a man. 11th one. Who cried, Ayyo, something has bitten me? As usual, the burglar cried, Ayyo, something has bitten me. Question number 13. Who did father, cook, and a servant stumble upon? Cook and a servant, father, stumbled upon the burglar who lay between the furniture. Question number 14. Do you think Swami really wanted to join the police department? If not, what did he want to be? I think Swami was not interested to join the police department. He wanted to be an engine driver, a railway guard, or a bus conductor later in life. Question number 15. Did Swami muster up courage to sleep alone after the burglars incident? No. Swami didn't muster up courage to sleep alone after the burglars incident. Question number 16. Who supported Swami? Both his mother and his granny supported Swami. Next we see, think about the text. From question number 1 to 9 and question number 11, for answers, please refer my notes. Question number 10. Who do you think was wiser, Swami or his father? Justify your preference. It is very difficult to say who between the father and the son was wiser. Swami seems to be a boy with worldly knowledge. His point that no boy can fight with a tiger is right. Father is wise in his own way, for he wants his son to become bit bolder and more independent. That's why he dislikes the boy sleeping beside his grandmother. Question number 13. Some words describing the characters of the story, a hero, are given in brackets. Put them in the appropriate columns. He has given 4 columns. In the first column, Swami's father, second, mother, third one, granny, fourth one, Swami. In the first column, we put disciplined and authoritative. Second one, caring, protective. In the third column, innocent. Fourth column, tricky, helpless, nervous.